from the third dimension.
3D News Bite.
Hello, hello, hello. This is Adolf, and I have with me Classic Jake.
Howdy, folks.
And today we're talking about a big news story that just popped out. The news story was from the Hollywood Reporter, and they just announced that Warner Brothers will be releasing all of its 2021 movies to HBO Max and theaters day and date.
That's a major seismic earthquake through the entertainment industry.
So there's 17 movies here. So we'll really quickly name drop them all and say what we're quickly thoughts on them. Suicide Squad, definitely excited for that.
Yeah.
Matrix 4, yeah.
Depends. If the Wachowskis are doing it, yeah. If not, hard pass.
I'm hoping the Wachowskis are better because I feel like the quality definitely dipped.
Oh, yeah.
Dune is going to be on this list, which definitely excited for.
I'm definitely, my butt is going to be in the seat for that, I hope.
Godzilla vs. Kong, excited for that.
Definitely.
Space Jam: A New Legacy.
I think we're going to be drawing straws on who reviews that one.
Other films include Little Things, Judas and the Black Messiah, Tom and Jerry, Mortal Kombat. Okay, we already talked about Tom and Jerry quickly, but we'll mention it again. It looks like crap, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I have no idea what Little Things or Judas is. Mortal Kombat, sure.
They're doing it again?
It's been a while since the two Mortal Kombat movies, and they actually had, I think this is based on a YouTube video of this one guy that did it, and everyone liked it, and they're like, okay, let's make a movie from that. Those Who Wish Me Dead, I don't know what that is. The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, which is the newest Conjuring movie. I haven't watched any of those movies, have you?
I've seen a couple. I'll watch. If Patrick Wilson's in it, yeah. If he's not, no.
So, I'm not going to go through the rest of them, because the rest of them I don't know anything about. But now the question is 3D going to be a part of these movies anymore? Or is it just going to be, all right, we're going to put them up on HBO Max, and if we're going to put them up on the theaters, and if you want to see it in the theaters, you can. If not, you can watch it at home. So 3D is I don't know.
I do have good news. Wonder Woman 84, when you go to the website to buy the tickets, it is promoted as being available in real 3D.
Okay.
So we at least know that there is the possibility that out in the wild you might be able to find a 3D screening in the United States for Wonder Woman 84.
I just checked for my sake, right now on Fandango, and none of the theaters near me have it in 3D. So. And also to have them on HBO Max day and date. And apparently Wonder Woman is going to be 4K, so I guess the rest of them might be 4K as well. You know, having that there and not having additional costs is a big deal for Disney, because this is, again, saying no, the Mulan experiment is not going to happen again. And the same thing will happen to Trolls. No, we're not going to do that. If you just have HBO Max, you get it. You don't have to pay extra.
I think I might end up watching HBO Max through Oculus 2, a headset.
So, yeah, it's definitely hoping that most of these 3D movies still get 3D releases, but it also makes things a whole lot easier for anyone that does have HBO Max, and, you know, puts more pressure for HBO Max to find a way to get it onto Roku sooner than later. They're still negotiating.
Yeah, because Roku is the #1 streaming platform, which makes sense. It's cheaper.
So I guess we'll see how this trickles down. If this is going to, the rest of the movie studios are going to be like, yep. Because I think part of the reason Croods 2 got released in theaters is so that way it could be on Peacock for Christmas.
It made more money than anything else has made in this pandemic in the U.S. I mean, it's not great money by the old world standards, but by the new, that was a blockbuster.
So the streaming wars, you know, we talk about the Clone Wars, but the streaming wars are now here. And it's weird because like Space Jam, like some of these movies, they've had contracts and TV shows with different people. So like you may see double dips. You may have Space Jam on Peacock, but Space Jam will also be on Netflix. But their deals will eventually end up. That's kind of how Friends became an HBO Max exclusive, where it was on Netflix for a long time, and it went to HBO Max. So I think as time goes, the exclusives, all the roosters will come home, or I don't know if that's a good analogy, but all the everything's gonna work itself out to be within their own camps. So Netflix will only have Netflix stuff eventually, I think, and then Peacock will have all NBC stuff, Universal stuff, and Disney will have all Disney, all Marvel, eventually. At the very least, it's gonna save me a lot of money because I already.
Oh, this is gonna be a great game changer. And hey, and while you guys are putting stuff out, if you're gonna why don't you put out some 3D for VR headsets, studios? Since you want us to stay home and watch movies, and which, hey, why not? Give us some 3D VR content.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out, because right now none of the major studios are doing streaming in 3D. Their stuff, I think, right?
I mean, there's so little streaming because Netflix hasn't streamed anything in 3D in years, and I think Vudu and Fandango now are the only two that have 3D content that. Well, there's 3D Crave, but I don't know how active it is.
Yeah, some of this stuff has died off, and it's really weird how it works and doesn't work, and
yeah, 3D is limping along. We're all sitting here, kind of waiting to see if it survives the current turmoil. I hope it does. I really do. It can pivot to VR quite easily.
Yeah, and that way you can have a watch party, and you can have it in 3D, and you can have your friends in the VR and the audience. That could be a fun way of doing it.
They need to get the glasses. They need to get the headsets cheaper, but they're still going to have to get the price down and keep the quality high to get more people to invest and to take the jump into VR.
Yeah, it's going to be a bold time, and we got to see how the market works, and if it can sustain movies on day and date with streaming and movies on theater as well. If people are just gonna stay at home and not watch any of them, $15 a month ain't that bad for HBO Max when watching it in 2D IMAX is the same cost.
Oh, it's here an IMAX ticket. It's closer to 30 for one person.
It just depends where you go, but I'm still
where you live. Exactly, and I'm also wondering, Warner doing this, they must think that Regal is either A, going to jump on board, or B, Regal ain't reopening up. Because remember, Regal said they weren't going to, any studio that did this day and date, they weren't going to book their movies. Well, right now they ain't booking nothing because Regal's shut down. I don't know if it's the entire nation and every theater, but I know they're shut down on the West Coast completely.
So, yeah, it's definitely interesting to see how this is going to work itself out, and we'll have to watch it, because it may be like theaters may just give up and just like, screw it. You may get one movie, that is a theater only experience. Is Disney going to do this with the Marvel movies? Is everyone else going to do this? Because it's Warner Brothers usually does not lead the pack, but this time they're leading the pack.
In some ways, they're very innovative, and in other ways, they're pretty stuck in the mud sometimes. But they've always been a scrappy studio.
All right, so we'll see how things work out in the future with 3D movies, if that's going to be it or not. But that's it for us. Bye.
Bye.
Before this podcast wraps up, I want to thank my patrons. Thank you, Kano3D and Mr. Bengal5 for your financial support on Patreon.com. So that's going to be it for this podcast. Thanks for listening. You can find 3D or 2D on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, Instagram, and more. Just look for 3D or 2D. Links are in the info box. If you want to send us listener mail, our email address is email3dortwo@gmail.com. Thank you for either listening or watching this podcast. Goodbye.
Bye.
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 Bye, everyone.